building an effective and consistent prayer life is something that every believer must strive to attain in your journey with God. Now, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever I drop a video on this platform. And don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to drop a comment for this video. Now, right into it. Building an effective and a consistent prayer life as a believer. Now, let's dive into a scripture, Luke chapter 18 from verse 1. I know it's a very popular scripture that we all know. Let's quickly look at the scripture, Luke 18 from verse 1. Now, in this scripture, it says, "And Jesus spake a parable unto them to this end, saying that men ought always to pray and not to faint." What Jesus was trying to tell his disciples in this scripture is that prayer is simply a culture that you should cultivate as a believer. Now, you should not just pray when you feel like you should pray. You should not just pray when you have the urge to pray, right? But you should pray as consistent as you can. He said, men ought always to pray. Always to pray. Now, we understand that the word always means always. It means every time. It means every second said. How do you build an effective and a consistent prayer life? Like I said earlier on, make prayer your culture. Now we understand that culture is the way of life of people, right? Now, you making prayer your culture is simply making prayer your lifestyle. Now, if you look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 from verse 17, the scripture says in that place, in the Passion Translation, it says, make your life prayer. Yes, that's what it's actually trying to say, that you should make your life a prayer lifestyle. So prayer should be a culture. It should be your way of life. It should be what you breathe. It should be what you live. So when you have this idea, when you have this understanding about prayer, right, you will see the necessity to pray at all times. Intentionally wake up every morning and pray. Don't leave your home without saying words of prayer every morning. Now, when you practice this, what you are doing is you are building a culture of prayer. When you do this every morning, do this every morning and do this every evening. This is just a preamble of what your prayer life should be like consistently. Pray every morning and pray every evening. Now, by doing this, you are fulfilling scripture. Yes, because Jesus practiced this. It is written in scripture that Jesus prayed night and he prayed in the morning, early in the morning. Now, let me take you to a scripture, right? Let me take you to a scripture in Mark chapter 1 from verse 35. Now, it says in this scripture, "And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and prayed there." Now, this is talking about Jesus in praying at this particular time. Now, we also see a person in the Bible who also engaged this prayer time, and this is Daniel. Now, let's look at Daniel chapter 6. Let's look at Daniel chapter 6. If you read from verse 10, Daniel 6, if you read from verse 10. Now, it's let me just give a summary. It talks about Daniel praying 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And the scripture says that Daniel consistently practiced this thing, this particular structure that he has placed. He practices continually, consistently. So this is one thing that you should. A lot of persons want to pray like others that pray 10 hours, pray 3 hours, whereas it is to stretch for that long period of time. But when you are alone, you find it difficult to stretch for that long period of time. It's because you have not gained energy in the place of prayer to stay long enough on your own. So it means that you are still depending on the gathering of brethren. Now, how do you now become independent in the place of prayer? Now, follow me. Be very, very intentional about your little time of prayer. I will say you maximizing your prayer time. Now, if you can pray 30 minutes, if you can pray 10 minutes, if it is 5 minutes that you can pray, God is not condemning you. Be very, very intentional with that time frame, because that time frame means a lot. So when you are consistent with that 5 minutes, that 30 minutes every day, when you consistently do it, you will discover that over time you will be able to pray for 1 hour, you'll be able to pray for 45 minutes. So when you keep growing, when you keep doing that, you will be growing. Before you know, you'll be able to pray for an hour stretch without stress. It's because the more you do a thing, the more you become a master at it. And that's why when you see some persons pray long hours, it's because before they got there, they started somewhere. And consistency is what has gotten them to that height which they are now. So be very intentional about your little prayer time. Maximize it and take value of it, place value on it. Which takes me to my next point. Appreciate your little prayer time. Now, a lot of persons feel this guilt, this sense of guilt when they pray for 5 minutes. They feel that, oh my God, my mates are praying hours and I just prayed 5. You pray 5 minutes. God hears you and God values that time that you have given to him. Now, Jesus said something when he wanted to pray for Lazarus, right? He said, Father, I thank you because what? You always hear me. So appreciate every moment that you have in the place of prayer. Appreciate it. Even when he wanted to break the bread and he wanted to give, what did he do? He gave thanks. So appreciate your prayer time. Now, for Jesus, right? This was a constant practice that Jesus has been able to master every single time that he comes to God in the place of prayer. So you to take note of this. Very, very important. Okay, another point I'll give to you is that be accountable to someone. Yes, accountability is also one of the keys that can help you build an effective and consistent prayer life. Now, when you're accountable to someone, and when you tell somebody that, okay, I want to pray for a so period of time, please, I want you to check up on me. I want you to monitor me. By being accountable to someone, it helps you to stay aligned with prayers. Are you getting me? So it helps you to stay aligned with prayer. Be accountable to somebody, either a friend, either a relative, either a mentor, or a father in the faith. So be accountable to somebody, right? Lastly, that I will give to you is be diligent and be consistent in what you do. Now, don't just pray today and you don't pray tomorrow. Right? That is why that is why I put in the place of setting alarms on your mobile phones, or you can even get an alarm clock, set alarms for prayer time. Okay, this is prayer time. So the moment this alarm comes up, you know that it is time to pray. So by doing this, you are building structures. Yes, that is what you are doing. You are building structure. You are cultivating a prayer lifestyle. So this is it for this video. Don't forget to drop a comment if this video was helpful to you. Like this video and share this video to your loved ones who are having difficulties in prayer. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Don't forget, my name is Jamie Samuel. God bless you.